So, to open proceedings, it is my pleasure to introduce John Cusack, the chair of the Global Coalition to Fight Financial Crime, for our special address. John does not need an introduction, yet I will not stand in the way of ceremony. So John is a leading financial crime fighter with significant industry experience, having been twice the co-chair of the Wolfsberg Group, the global association which develops guidance and principles for managing financial crime risks. John was previously the Global MLRO at UBS and Standard Chartered Bank, and is currently editor of the Financial Crime News and author of Red Alert. He has also been a founding supporter of public-private partnerships that include the UK's JIMLIT and similar ones in Hong Kong, Singapore, as well as information sharing initiatives in the US. Most recently, John was appointed the chair of the Global Coalition to Fight Financial Crime to help drive the coalition in line with its objectives to support the recently formalised secretariat. This two-year position began just a few weeks ago.
Hello. When it comes to financial services, fintechs want to do things simpler, faster, better. This also makes sense when it comes to fighting financial crime. But all too often, compliance can make things complex, slower, and harder. And starting from scratch on compliance is not an option. Whilst we are where we are, we really ought to be learning from other risk disciplines. Take the threat from cyber, for example. A threat to one is seen as a threat to all, and the response involves collective defense, information sharing, and collaboration. So why isn't this the standard for fighting financial crime? Fintechs are relatively new to the financial services party, but making a noise for sure. Many don't like the strictures that apply to them on fighting financial crime, questioning if they are relevant for them, whether they're effective anyway, and questioning the burden versus the benefit. Much of the rationale for fintechs exists to avoid the business models of the incumbents. Whilst this may not be the case for fintech financial crime fighters, at the fintech C-suite, the costs of compliance are a concern unless things can be done differently. This is no different actually to many incumbents. So how to navigate this dilemma, being compliant and having reasonable controls, and paying whatever that takes, with many fintechs not yet profitable and not compromising on the customer experience. I think there is only one answer to this dilemma, and that's collaboration. Collaboration, if the standards that apply to you are not the right ones, come up with your own and make these the reasonable standard. Collaboration, even if you are fierce commercial competitors, as you compete on compliance at your peril. Collaboration on industry initiatives and put credit in the bank, or if you wish, in the payment service provider, or in the digital wallet. Collaboration on identifying and sharing those bad actors that you have identified that didn't get through your controls, but might through others. For those that don't want to collaborate, in my experience, they fall into two categories. The first is they have nothing to share and are embarrassed and want to remain in the shadows. You need to know what you don't know, and quick. The second is those that think they know it all and their knowledge is a competitive advantage. That, though, kind of arrogance will kill you, and it's likely you don't know as much as you think you do. And some personal advice to all financial crime fighters. Fintechs are not a special space where the rules don't apply. Fintechs can't ignore compliance when they take the place of those that have those obligations. Fintechs can't do less compliance because they are startups or not yet ready. I think if I had to pick one area fintechs should continue to focus on, it's the KYC onboarding process. How good is your customer risk rating? Does it do what it needs to do? And most importantly, because you're not going to meet many of your clients who open accounts remotely with as few clicks as necessary, how confident are you that you have identified true high-risk customers, especially those disguising themselves as non-high risk? Minimizing known unknowns, if you like, is a challenge, but one that the best programs ought, I think, to be really focusing on. And finally, don't be afraid to challenge orthodoxy and why you want to do it differently. Don't be afraid to innovate and come up with new ways to do old ways better. Don't be afraid to ask for help or give advice. The Global Coalition to Fight Financial Crime is exactly what its name suggests, and is very happy to have the FinTech FinCrime Exchange as a new member, and I'm looking forward to doing whatever I can and making the coalition available to the FFE to help you on your journey. Thank you.